My chicks dig it. Use the code T-HAND at checkout to unlock 10% savings on all Grub Terra products. Hey, everybody. T-HAND 141 Homestead on the line. I am Tracy, if this is your first time here. Hey, Peter, how is it going? And I see Dave Knight was here earlier this morning. He got in line early. Yes, you might be able to hear the generator running in the background. We have drilled the well. It made it to 52 feet, approximately 52 feet of casing. And it has been running at 5 gallons a minute. And it was very scientific. The way you find that out is you hook up the test pump. Hey, Wendy, how's it going? You hook up the test pump and you hook a hose to that. And then you run the water. You start the generator, plug in the test pump, and you run the generator. And you set it so that it fills up a 5-gallon bucket at exactly a minute. And that's what we did. And it has been running at 5 gallons a minute since noon. Let's see. On 60 times 6 equals 360. Yeah, that's 60 times 6, 360 gallons. Wait, no, 60 times 6, that's 360 minutes times 5 gallons a minute. That's 1,800 gallons so far, and it is starting to clear up. It is still a little cloudy. I am tickled pink because we use 5 lengths of casing. The down payment covered 40 feet of casing, and I had 2 10-length pieces of casing. So I might end up with a partial free water tank out of it. I'm going to try to use the pump that I have. I have a 12-volt submersible well pump. Because I'm off grid. As you can see right up there, I'm off grid, baby, right there. Off grid in the 21st century. And the problem is I can handle, my AC inverter can handle 16 amps at a time. When the deep well, the submersible AC pumps kick on, they use 11 amps. Now, what happens in that unlikely event that my freezer that takes, I don't know, say it takes 5 or 8 amps, when it kicks on and then you add the 11 from the well pump, if they ever kicked on at the exact same spot, because it kicks on, it spikes, and then it goes down to a normal usage level. What happens if those two come on together? Or if I'm using the microwave and the water pump kicks on or something like that. So I'm going to try staying with the 12-volt pump because that has a slow start to it. But I'm tickled pink. That's 1,800 gallons. And it's still going. It is still going. Throw that up there. So we'll run it until it clears. Right now, it's a little cloudy. Let me see if I can find. Let's see here. If I can find. I just took the images today. Hopefully they backed up already, so that I can find them now. Oh yes, they are here. So now I just need to, let's see here, add tab to new group. No, yeah, right there looks good. Okay, so now I just gotta, hi Suzanne. Present, share screen, photos, Google Photos. Okay, let's see. I don't like that one. Let's go with this one. We'll make it even bigger. Come on. This is what my water is looking like right now. It's a little cloudy yet, and I don't know if you can see where my finger. I ran my finger down the side of it because it is cold. It is very cold water. Just gotta keep looking. Yeah, it's still going. I'm gonna say I got 5 gallons a minute unlimited. I use, when Wendy and I both took a shower, we used approximately 10 gallons in just our showers. So I'm gonna say we probably use 12, 13 gallons a day, tops. And so that leaves plenty, with a 20-gallon tank. That will leave plenty. I should only have to, my pump should only run once a day, if that. Okay, Suzanne. I hope I may lose internet. The power has blinked several times already. Yeah, we had a big storm come through. It was serious. It was really serious. Let's see if I can, what else I got. Okay, that's another picture. You can kind of see in this one, if you on my big screen, I can see it, the frost on the jar. And then this is where I got it just running out on the ground. This up behind it, this is, because what the pounders do, let's see if I can find a picture of the pounder. A picture of the pounder. Oh, you don't want to see that. Come on now. There's down my well before we put the thing there. Nope. Other than just doxing Trevor and showing all his information up there. Why did that not show me his? Oh, there it is. There's one. Here's a picture of the machine. It is called a pounder. It is a Keystone 50 Frank Hunkins well drilling. And he still uses the old machines. It's a very, very simple process. The video will be coming out tomorrow. But you see, basically these two arms right here, go up and down, and that cable goes around this pulley. So when that goes up, it drops this drill stem right here that goes down the well and pounds the ground, and it's made so it rotates every time it pounds. And then every 3 feet, depending on what kind of ground you're in, you use this baler, which is a long hollow tube with a valve on the bottom, a paddle on the bottom, and you empty it out. And that is what this Where did it go? Go up, up, up. That is what this slurry back here is you're basically making mud. You pound it, pulverize whatever's down there, whether it's granite rock, shale rock, gravel, which we're in gravel, into a mud slurry, and then you pull it out. And once it starts making its own water, you don't even have to dump water down it. I just have to keep watching that to make sure that it's still going. The water does not appear to me to have dropped any, which means at 5 gallons a minute, I'm not going to say unlimited water, but at 5 gallons a minute, I know it'll run for 6 hours. And who needs 1,800 gallons of water unless you're putting out a fire? Oh no. Suzanne, I don't know how you feel about this, but I'm gonna stop for just a second and actually pray for you guys there, and people, if you're offended by me praying, please mute it for a second. But come on back, because this is how we do. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord Jesus, I do ask that you, in your wisdom and your power, that you would protect Suzanne Goulet and anyone that might be in the path of these tornadoes. Father, let them, if they must touch down, I ask that you would have them touch down in non-populated areas. Lord, even protect the animals, because a sparrow doesn't fall without your noticing. And I just ask that you would protect all life from these tornadoes if they must come, Lord. Father, if there has to be damage, in your wisdom, we trust you for that. But we would ask that it would be minimal to accomplish your goals, if that's indeed what it has to be. I do thank you and praise you in Jesus' name. Amen. All right. Yes. That's wonderful. I'm like a full gospel Baptist almost. I don't personally, I don't speak in tongues or get the Pentecostal heebie-jeebies, but I like the contemporary music. I like the contemporary Christian music. I like raising my hands in prayer. And I believe we have power from on high, but I don't park on the power. I believe we dote it out as needed and as led by the Holy Spirit. So water on a homestead, guys. When you look at a property, look for water. If you can, running water, a creek, a river, running water is always desired. We don't have that here. In fact, what made me want this land is the way the former owner had the posted signs set up. There was a creek on it, but it turns out the creek is like 50 feet or so, maybe 20 yards behind my property line. Let me do this. Let me go weather 13303 and see if that works again. Come on, Nightbot. Maybe I got to do it in my, where's my, there we go. If you type in weather and your zip code, Nightbot will post your weather on here. which is very nice of Nightbot. But yeah, water is a necessity of life. Guys, you can go, I think it's 2 days without water. You can go like 2 weeks without food. I wouldn't want to go much more than that. I've never been fat man. I haven't been without food for very long at all. Conditions are partly cloudy. Yeah, with a temperature 68. 69. Yeah, that's close. Wind is blowing from the west at 7 miles an hour. And the current humidity is 83%. Yep, 83%. Hey, Dave. No, it is not an oil well. It is a water well. And they did strike water. We're pumping it now. It's been running since noon, since around noon at 5 gallons a minute. So that's about 1,800 gallons. Was it 1,800 or 18,000? Let's see. 60 minutes times 6 equals 360 times 5. Yeah, 1,800 gallons in 6 hours. And the goal isn't to run it dry. I don't think we will run it dry at 5 gallons a minute. The goal is to clear it out, because let me share. Let me find this is what we're seeing. It's a little bit cloudy, just a little bit cloudy. Now you can see, I don't know if you can see it on a cell phone, but on my big screen, I can see it really well, where I took my finger and ran down the jar to get the frost, because it is cold water. And Annie from Back to Basics Homestead just had some seriously heavy rain, which so did we. Yeah, you can go. Okay, you can go without food till you run out of body fat, and so I can live forever. I used to have like less than 1% body fat. It was amazing. I was cut, but I was in the Army. I was young. But you need water. Now, what we opted to do, because I couldn't get Frank in here. Frank went from having winters slow down for him, where he wasn't having to drill every day. It was like right at around the time that we started talking about getting well drilled, his business picked up, and he runs 2 rigs all year long. And I had water because we went ahead and we dug a well. We dug 20 feet down to bedrock, is what I was told. Basically, we had a seep coming in, a couple seeps coming in at 3 or 4 feet down, which is not good at surface water, but we were hoping it would develop into a spring. And we filled that with 4 foot of stone. We put our culvert, plastic culvert pipe in vertically, and filled in with stone around that to like 2 foot below the surface. Then we covered that with dirt, and I put my tank down and all that good stuff, or my well pump down in there. And what I've been doing is, in the summers, I have 2 300-gallon totes. Oh, I've been able to flush the toilet. I've been able to flush the toilet for years. I have 2 300-gallon totes, and outside in the summer, and in the winter, I have 2 55-gallon drums. barrel, plastic 55-gallon barrels, and I fill those from the dug well, and then I use from there with a camper water pump. Basically, this water pump has an internal pressure switch. When it senses the water goes below 40 pounds psi, it turns the pump on to try to get it back up to 50, and it'll run till you turn the spigot off, and it'll build back up to 50 pounds and shut off, just like in a camper, just like in like a Jayco type camper. Now, the problem with that is with the dug well, I didn't always have the ability to pull water out of it because the well would go dry from time to time. Hence the rainwater catchment system that I use for my animals and my garden, which I do the back to Eden garden, so I don't have that. Now I will be able to flush the toilet and not hear the water pump come on. And I will not have to constantly go out and check my water levels. It'll be more of a hands-off process. I will have a lot better pressure because I believe I'll be able to set it at 50 psi, the water tank at 50 psi, and it'll keep it there. And it's a 20-gallon water tank, I think Frank said. Now, if something happens and I end up having to, I can get a new submersible pump. They are expensive. That will do 60 psi, that will fill a bladder tank up to 60 psi. My pump that's down the well now is supposed to go there. Because we only used 5 pieces of casing, because Frank with the minimum payment goes 40 feet in casing, 4 pieces of casing. Then I had 2. So we didn't use the last piece of casing. So that is going to save me a bunch of money. I don't have to buy a tank unless it runs over that, which I don't see a tank running over that. So I'll probably have enough to get a new submersible pump if I need it. But I figure for now I will try. It is so easy to change out a pump when you're in metal, the metal well casing. But water is so important. Now, here's what I'm thinking. I have a 200-watt solar array that we used to run the house off before we expanded that. I am thinking that I might hook the pump I have now, the camper pump, water pump, that comes on every time you turn the faucet, and do rainwater catchment from the 2 new sheds that are supposed to be coming in August, hopefully be being done by then and delivered by then, I'm hoping. I'll do rainwater catchment off them and have an actual the pump, so that I will be able to have water on demand to water the animals. Oh, excuse me. I apologize for that. To water the animals while, once I have the buildings, and use water catchment for that. I do the back to Eden gardening, so I do not need ooh. Ooh, very thankful for the lightning rods. That strike shook the house. Wow. Lord, just be with Suzanne Goulet. Keep them safe, Lord. Make a tripod to low and lift the pump with the tractor. Yeah, I could do that, but it's only 55 feet. Actually, it's not. It's 52 feet to the bottom of the well, but you have to be up 5 feet. So that's 47 feet because you can't set it right on the bottom of the well. So that's 47 feet. And then the pitless adapter will be down below the ground surface 4 feet to keep frost from getting to it. So that's 43 feet. It's only 43 feet of 1-inch pipe, and the pumps are really pretty light. I used to pull them and put them in, and it was really nice. John's or Frank Hunkins's well, he's an employee. Yeah, Frank Hunkins' employee John. He is really good at drill. I mean, that's what the guy's done for 20 years. He's getting ready to retire. But I was able to help him out quite a bit. Just putting the pump down. It's kind of a 2-man job. One person stands over the well, make sure you don't scrape the insulation off the wires that go down the well with the pump. And then the other guy carries the end. So I was able to help there, and I was able to understand because I used to drill for Frank. I used to be able to I was able to understand most of what they were saying. It's been a long time, but when they were drilling down, and they're like, "Yeah, Tracy, we've got decent water, but this will not clear." And they could tell by the color of the water, the texture of the particles that were in the water. It had sand, because we did go through a layer of quicksand, and then there was a layer of sand right above that was coming in with this water. And so I was able to follow them there and know that they weren't just, trying to boost it up. 93 degrees. It was really warm here. It was really warm here until it rained, and it poured. JMB, you can, if you want, you can type weather, WEATHER space, and then your zip code, and it will give us a weather report for where you're at. I'll illustrate. I love this. It's 13303. I love this new thing. It takes it a minute, but what it does is it searches and finds my thing. Yeah, it's 68 degrees Fahrenheit here now, since the rain. I did get to mow the lawn today while John was out there drilling. I try not to bug him. Weather for Kansas City. Conditions are sunny with temperatures 92 degrees Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius. The wind is blowing from the northwest at 2 miles per hour, or 3 kilometers per hour. And the current humidity is 44. Let's see. Gravely, conditions are partly cloudy with a temperature of 94 degrees Fahrenheit, 34 Celsius, and the wind is blowing from the south at 4 miles an hour. The current humidity is 61. I'll trade humidities with either one of you. Right now, we've got 80% humidity. It is hot. And we all know Fat Man is allergic to sweat. That's what I tell myself anyway. But yes, so this is the picture, and like I said, it's frosted a little bit, but I wiped the frost off it. There's a little bit of cloudiness uh, in the water. Um, where'd it go? Come here. There it is. There's a little bit of cloudiness in the water, but hopefully that'll clear right up. I'm really thinking it's going to. I can see my hand through it now. When we first started, it was really well, it was mud basically. Uh, you can hardly breathe. Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of humidity, and what do you do with that? You know, it's one of those things that you got to deal with it. Now, this is what I got going on right now. This is the slurry that came out of the the well. They basically pound it to mud and then bring it up in the baler. This is the highest humidity I've seen here during the day. It goes up at night, but usually low during. Well, that's good. It will be drinking safe. I could drink it now because the particulates that are in it are sand. It's like a really fine grit sand, but it is below the surface. 40, what I say, 40. Well, it's below the surface by 47 feet. And God only knows how deep that reservoir goes. That's pushing the water up there. So it I would drink this water as soon as it clears up. However, I do have my world famous coliform tests because I have fought with coliform for so long. Coliform, not to be confused with the venereal disease that I said that one time, but well, that's how we got the. Where'd it go? Come on. See, this is, you can kind of see here. Let me bring that up a little bit bigger here. Today would be nice.
Hey, y'all, T-Hand 1.
What in the world was that? Pause that.
1 minute 5.
I said pause it. You can see running out of the hose that is milky, and it's just not clear. So it's cleared up a lot already. This is looking down the well. You can see down there. Let's see if I can zoom in just once, I guess. But you can see the water reflecting. This is before we put the pump down. You can see the water reflecting there. It's pretty cool. Oh, that's my forecast for this week. Thunder showers. Let's see here. See, you can even see the difference between that one where it was coming out, and this one. It looks a lot clearer. I don't know. I don't know if I am on the Tug Hill Aquifer or not, to be perfectly honest. I'm not sure. I do know that we we've got good water. This should clear up. Yeah, it's coming from an underground water source. We have a main aquifer, which is called the Tug Hill Aquifer, and it provides West Leyden, Boonville, Seaver. So yeah, this is all underground water. The surface water is sealed out with the pipe, and this is water coming from 50 feet below the surface, 52 feet below the surface. So this is all going to be pure, clean water. I might test it just because I want to make sure that I'm going to have to shock it with bleach, probably just my system, just to clean out my system, because I have such horrible coliform. Well, it's not really bad. I don't get sick from it. I cook with it. I wash dishes in it. I shower in it. I brush my teeth with it. And see, coliform is not something that is, I mean, if you get the right amount in you, it can make you sick, but it's also something you can build up a tolerance to. I believe it was Frank that was telling me, somebody was telling me that they had their water tested and they had horrible coliform. And they just kept on drinking the water right from the tap, and nobody ever got sick or anything like that. So oh yeah, I'll probably have it tested. I've got my own I've got actual test kit. You can buy them at Lowe's or Home Depot, but I might take this in to the extension, cooperative extension, I think it is, and have them actually test it for me. But yeah, there is no reason, because we will have a good cap on this. There is really zero reason for this to have any. I just gotta glance every once in a while, make sure the water's still running. There's no reason for anything to be in this water. Now, up on Tug Hill, up on 294, they put a landfill in Ava, and they're supposed to send. It's supposed to just be ash being brought up from the incinerators. However, the smell is horrible at times when you drive through there. Every once in a while, I can just I can just smell a little bit of it if the wind is perfect. But they said, there are 6-inch rubber mats that they put with sensors and all for that detect leaks. And this it'll never leak, and you'll be dead and gone before it ever leaks or whatever. Well, it's already sprung a couple leaks, but so yeah, it would probably behoove me to get it tested, but it's not a main thing in my mind. Just for the reason, we have in this area, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of, you got Poland Spring. Where's Poland Spring? That's in Connecticut? I thought that was in New York. But Nirvana water, that is just, I don't know, as the crow flies, maybe 10 miles, 20 miles from here. And they have really good water. But you would be surprised. The bottled water, this is a Poland Spring here. The bottled water has very little regulation on it. The drinking water for municipalities has even less regulation on it. Poland Springs is in Maine, okay, because it's bottled in Stamford, Connecticut. But I always thought it because we got Poland, New York, right down the hill. But they just found out in Port Leyden and Lyons Falls that the people who were responsible for the tests, they were falsifying the records. They weren't doing the tests that they were supposed to do. Now they have been fired, removed from their office. But so God only knows what content of what was allowed to go through that water. And I got to say, in Port Leyden, we drank tap water. When I was a kid, I drank hose water because it was still some of the best water I've ever tasted. Still to this day, it's some of the best water I've ever tasted. And the funny thing is, the piping on North Pearl Street for it's been 15 to 17 years now, they have been telling us, oh, we're saving up to replace all the water pipe along on that side of the river, on the east side of the river in the village. And when you do it, when it does break, because it's starting to rust through a lot, you've got a hole like, let's see, that big in a water pipe that big, and the rest is rust. It is horrible. But I don't know. The current mayor, I guess, is starting a fight with the fire department. Literally ban the fire department from having any events on village property. They could go put out fires and stuff, but you don't upset your fire department. Nestle acquired, yeah. Well, the thing is you never know. The regulations that are out there for these things, you just don't know. And that's one reason I will be able, and I will stock up a test kit. I think they're like $25 a piece from Lowe's, or I think you can get them where you can test for lead and coliform and all this other stuff. And I will keep track of my water. I'm off grid. I am responsible for my own water and my own water safety. If there's a problem with it, I have no one to blame but myself. I got to turn that fan on a little. Whew, and that sun is starting to come in. Yeah, I'm responsible for it. But oh my goodness, the water systems in this country that are part of the infrastructure that you don't see. See, the roads, they get taken care of all the time because everybody sees them. Water pipes running through a city, town, village, or building. The only time you see the inside of them is when there's a problem. And usually the only people who see the inside of them are the ones fixing them. And it's not in their best interest to tell somebody, yeah, these pipes are full of iron and rust and sediment deposits and all that stuff. Now, I don't want to turn anybody off. You've been drinking this stuff for years. Some of the chemicals that the villages and stuff put, chlorine is not good for you. Yeah. They say rainwater is dangerous now. I don't believe them, and I will not stop collecting rainwater. My animals thrive on it. My gardens thrive on it. Why should I work on, risk my well. That water's just a coming. But yeah, you would be surprised. It was when um I keep forgetting their name. I can never remember their name. I keep wanting to say Abushan. I just said it a few minutes ago. The water company that's down the hill, well, cross Route 12. Oh goodness. But the regulations guarding them, there's particulate filtration, but that's about it. We used to have reservoir water in Port Leyden, and reservoir water is great. We used to love to go to the reservoir and catch fish. But so yeah, that's what's going on the homestead this week. I mowed the lawn today. The pigs are starting to get bigger. I'll have a video out tomorrow that will show the drill rig in action, introduce you to Frank and all that. John didn't want to be on camera, which is fine. John is a character. He's a really good guy, and he knows drilling. And Frank knows. Frank's been drilling since he got out of the Army when he was in his early 20s, and I know he's older than me. I'm not totally sure how old he is. But yeah, there's controversy about the Berkey filter, but I really don't put a lot of stock in that. Nothing is foolproof. Nothing is 100%. Okay. If it had, I think it's 0.5 or 0.05 micron carbon filter. And that should take out cysts like Giardia is a cyst, bacterias, viruses, stuff like that. I mean, do your homework, make sure my numbers are right, because I'm not always right. Don't tell anybody I said that. But they have you do the color test where you put the red dye in the top of the Berkey, and then you check the water in the bottom of the Berkey, and if it'll take red dye out of your water, red food coloring out of your water, that's a pretty good filter. I'm sorry, because that is separating the water from the contaminants on a molecular level. That's pretty serious water filtration. Now, I will still have my 1 micron filters. I have a 1 micron paper filter. I have a 1 micron carbon filter, but now I may be able to use my 0.5 micron, my half a micron charcoal carbon filters, and still have. See, I tried it with this pump that I have, and I just lost all pressure. And fat man don't like to run around in the shower to get wet. But yeah, anything anyone else produces for you, you are at their mercy. That's just plain and simple the way it is. the wind. Just the wind. Yeah, you're at their work. I don't care if it's this bottle of water. This bottle of water. Well, I guess you gotta go to their Clear Springs, Hollis, Evergreen Spring, Freebird, Garden Spring, Poland, Cedar. Oh, there are a bunch of different springs. But you know, they could tell me everything that's in this water, and I'm at their mercy. I don't have the wherewithal to check it. Off Grid with Doug and Stacy. Doug just posted a video, and this will interest you. There is this doctor during the pandemic, and she was interested in how the vaccine changed your gut biology. Okay. And so she asked a bunch of other doctors that were going to get stuck. And I do that so that the algorithms can't. Yeah. But, and she tested their number twos. She tested their fecal matter before they got the jab and after they got the jab. And what she found is within like 30 days after getting the jab, their gut started all that. Is it bifida? I want to say it's bifida bacteria or bifida. Yeah, bacteria in your gut went down almost to zero, if not to zero. So she did an experiment because this was not a paid funded experiment, because at that time you weren't going to get any money to test stuff like this. And you still aren't. And so she killed all of the bifida bacteria in her gut. Now, Off Grid with Doug and Stacy, they got one of their recent videos has this lady talking on it, an interview with her, and she killed all the bifida bacteria in her gut, and she wanted to know how long would it take to get it back. Well, she started drinking store-bought kefir that said right on the label contains bifida bacteria. And she did a whole bunch of them. But then when she tested her bifida bacteria, she didn't have any still. So she ended up going to Whole Foods and another place and buying up the vitamin waters that had bifida bacteria in them and all this kombucha and stuff, store-bought and stuff, and testing them because she had access to the machines needed to test these for bifida bacteria. Out of 23 products, 3 of them actually had bifida bacteria in them that they claimed to have in them. Only 3 out of 23. The $27 of bifida water, the water that was supposed to have $27 for a bottle. You would think that would have it in it, but it didn't. You are totally at the mercy of the people selling you this stuff and making it. Oh, yeah, it's got this. Oh, yeah, that horse will run a mile in 20 seconds. What they don't tell you is that horse would run a mile in 20 seconds with its tail on fire 20 years ago. You know, you got to be careful who you believe. And I'm sorry, but there are people out there who make money off us not being well. There are people out there who make money off us worrying about being well. I look at things this way. I saw that vid. Disturbing. It is supposed to be possible to rebuild the gut microbiome if you can find or make the real stuff. Yes, what she ended up doing was she started making her own fermented kombucha and her own ferments to rebuild that her microbiome. Because buying it from the store just wasn't getting it. Why? Because people on this that sell you things, guys, if you look up the chat right here, Nightbot, join my channel for as little as $99 US. Now there are two levels. There's a 99-cent level, but if your credit card won't do that, there's a $1.99 level. They're both, you both get the same things. I hate to say it, but some people's credit card won't do the 99-cent. Okay. But that is one of the things. If you want to join my channel, great. If you don't, great. That's why I kept it so low. I mean, there are places that, $5, $10 for a monthly subscription to somebody's channel. And there's nothing wrong with that because they have content that is worth that. I think my content is worth that, but I would rather, I'm just trying to recoup a little bit. But there are people out there that are saying, I want to make as much money as I can for as little as I can and spend as little as I can. Oh, hey, Mahilin. I hope I didn't say anything that messed up your dinner. I sometimes do that. But yeah, and some people in this world, I don't want to shock you, some people are just not honest. Now, I will tell you straight up with my channel, yes, you can see the water. I'm almost there. I'll tell you straight up with my channel. I don't do everything right. There's the right way, the wrong way, the Army way, Trevor's way, and my way. And you know what? Take your pick as to which one that you want to do. Because it's just that easy. It's just that easy. There are many different ways to skin a cat. Choose the one that's best for you. I enjoy sharing mine. But yeah, that's my water right there. It's a little cloudy yet. It's got some particulates in it, but we're pumping it out. We've let's see. Well, another 60 minutes. I should be able to do this in my head, but I'm too lazy to. 5 gallons a minute. So that's another 300 gallons. So that's 2,100 gallons that we've pumped out of her so far. I was thinking about trying to have you guys going to my cell phone and taking you out there, but and showing you what's actually happening as we speak. But the generator, even though it's a really quiet generator, it's kind of loud. 52 feet and at 5 gallons a minute, which is what a bank looks for, it doesn't seem to be going down. It seems to still be the same level in the pipe. I haven't measured it. There is a way to measure it. You take a swig out of a water bottle, tie a water bottle to your tape, measure and drop that down the well. The water bottle will float. You tense up the line there and it'll show you exactly what level your water is. You write that down somewhere and then you check it later and it should be about the same place. But yes, I am very happy I'm hoping I'm going to try to use the pump I have, just because if I'm worried about a regular 110 pump kicking on, it's 11 amps. That's a lot of amps to all of a sudden start drawing. But now I don't know how many amps. I don't remember how many amps my freezer is. But if the water pump and the freezer kick on at the same time, that's, that could be too many amps. And next thing you know, I got alarms going off and I'm running, hey, Rebecca, touch my yarn. How's it going? So yeah, I'm hoping that this water pump will work better with a 20-gallon tank. I should be able, it'll only run like once or twice a day, tops. And I should be golden. But if I have to, I can get a new pump. The thing is I am so glad. If I would have went ahead and built my pole barn, it would have cost me all the money that I had set aside, because that's what it was for, was the pole barn. It would have cost me all the money I had set aside, plus some for the concrete floor. But by doing the two 12 by 20 sheds instead of the pole barn, I had money left over. And then my well went dry. The dug well went dry. Way back in the day, I was part of a cooperative grocery. We believed it all. And in the 70s, most of it was probably honest labels, etc. But corporate greed has, yeah, it has. It has. Now, I really dislike it when people associate being rich with being evil. Just because you're rich doesn't mean you're evil. Okay, now, my thing is, if you got $1 billion, start throwing some of it. It's not going to cost you hardly anything to put 100 million to house the needy, the homeless, and feed the hungry and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You could put 100 million into charity just like that. Nobody needs $10 billion. But I understand, if you worked for that billion to be a billionaire, it's your money. You do with it what you choose to do with it, But I'm often confronted with people saying, yeah, the rich are our problem. No, my problem is Tracy. I am my own problem. You are your own problem. The homeless person, chances are, now people hit hard times all the time. Chances are that homeless person could be part of their own problem. Okay. And you say, well, there are no jobs for them in all 50 states. I'm sorry, but when he was young, my next door neighbor, Mike, walked 13 miles to work every day. That was one way. Sometimes he was able to catch a ride or something, but 13 miles to work. That man wanted to work. I was telling somebody the other day that they're like, well, nobody's calling me back, or it was somebody's relative that had applied for jobs. And they said, well, nobody's calling me back. And I suggested to them, have your relative call them. If you haven't heard from you, I got several jobs that way back before I retired. I was medically retired through the VA because of PTSD from Desert Storm, but so I retired way early. I'm only 52, ladies. Just joking. No, I am only 52, but Yeah, artificial flavorings and stuff. You have to be careful because you don't know what you get. I have. Let me see if I can grab it real quick. I'll be right back. I'll keep talking so you know I don't forget you. Where did it go? Did I take it to my mom? Where did it go? I'll be. Okay, I can't find it. I must have took. I know I took a box to my mom. Of my it's echinacea and mint tea. Well, here's the wonderful thing. I've got one of those infusers. I got echinacea growing out here, and I got peppermint growing out here. I can make my own, and I know exactly what's in that. The only thing in it is what I want to be in it. But that is so much the problem. A Big Mac goes on sale for 99 cents. A salad goes on sale for $3. You know, the stuff to make natural food or organic food, we take their word that they're using organic stuff, costs so much. So they compromise a little bit here and a little bit here and a little bit here. Next thing you know, they've compromised their whole recipe. Yeah. Yes. You can dry them, dehydrate them, which I do, and then I vacuum seal them. But for best, yeah, because after you pick a vegetable out of your garden, I would assume that this rule applies to herbs as well. But when you pick a vegetable out of your garden, within 10 minutes, it's lost a bunch of its nutritional value. Think about that tomato you bought in February. I'm in upstate New York, so it didn't come, it was way more than 10 minutes old. Think about the apples that they pick while they're green. They never got all the nutrients from the tree before they picked. They picked them when they were green and let them ripen in transit. Yeah, actually, I put it up. I do have a vacuum sealer, and I use it for my Venzen and stuff like that, to store in the freezer and stuff. But I took the I have the can adapter, so you can vacuum seal canning jars, both wide mouth and narrow lid canning jars, and I hooked it up on a brake bleeder pump. And so I can manually vacuum seal with the brake bleeder pump. I just pump my hand, and I can manually vacuum seal my herbs in the jars. And it is awesome. And I don't have to use electricity. I don't have to go to the trouble of pulling everything out. Everything is right there. You know, Bob's your uncle. It's vacuum sealed. And with my dried goods that I vacuum seal, I do leave the rings on them for the simple reason, if for some reason the vacuum does break, they're dried. They're going to last for a long time anyway, but mice won't be able to. I had one that the seal broke. It lost its vacuum, and the mice ate all of it. The funny thing is, I want to say it was peppermint, and mice aren't supposed to like peppermint. Go figure. So yeah, I have been greatly blessed with this water. Oh, it's over. Where is it? Where is it? Where? I have been greatly blessed with that. And we're still pumping water out. But it's making some funny noises. The generator, it might need me to put some gas in it. So guys, I'm going to go ahead and go. Thank you for stopping by. Don't forget to hit that like button, that subscribe button, that little notification bell so that you get notified every time I come out with new content. Tomorrow at 3:15, at 3:15 every Monday and Friday, I come out with a new long form video. Keep an eye out for that stuff. Head on over to tham141homestead.com. I have a blog. I have merchandise, all sorts of t-shirt designs, the stickers. You can put the designs on over 50 some products. I also have books that will help you on your homestead. So check all that out, guys. And thanks for stopping by the homestead this week. We will see you live next week, if not sooner. It depends on how bored I get. All right. Y'all have a great day, and God bless.